Hello, everybody. So, let's talk today about how bad memories of bad falls or a accident with your horse continues to live alive inside your body until you learn how to forget about it, change it, and rewire it. So, this is Tammy Magnuson, and what I want to give as a gift to horse riders is the ability to change their past experiences with their horse so that they can get new results. So, this is what happens in our brain when it becomes stressed because of an accident or a fall or a break or any bad situation that has happened in your life because of a horse. Your brain focuses on it. It does this for a number of reasons. Number one, it's trying to prevent it from happening again. And it believes if it focuses on what happened, how it happened, all the details of it, that I can actually prevent it. Unfortunately, the way the brain works is actually anything it focuses on, it gets more of. So, in effect, by focusing on accidents and memories and situations where something bad happened that you remember, your body is physically going through that situation over and over anytime that you think about it. Anytime that something comes up that's similar, it will throw your brain into the chemical state to reproduce that in your body. And that is why people have anxiety and stress and physical responses that they don't know how to control. So, what do we need to do? Well, we need to forget about it, right? We need to forget about that bad experience and be able to live in the present. In order to be able to live in the present, you need to let go of the past. It's an old saying, it has a lot of truth to it because what we hold on to, we focus on, and we will get more of. Just like if I told you, just like if you were looking for a car and when you were shopping for a car, you never noticed this vehicle was on the road so much. The same color or different colors, whatever. You never even noticed this car. Now you're purchasing this car and you're like, oh, there's another Prius, there's another Nissan, whatever it was. And so that is because your brain is focused on it and now it notices it. So, what happens when we notice situations with our horse that happened similarly to what happened before? And it throws your body into a stress response. Well, it actually shuts down your thinking part of your brain. So, the one thing you want to be using when you're riding a horse is your thinking part of your brain. You want to be able to think coherently, focus, plan, implement, and then turn those thoughts into actions. When the prefrontal cortex is essentially blocked from thinking because you've gone into an automatic response, you get this freeze, fight, or flight response. And it works great when you need to react, right? You don't want to touch something hot and leave your hand there until your thinking brain starts thinking about it. You want to react. But when you're planning and implementing a course with your horse, you don't want to go into that fight, flight, or freeze response because now you're actually shut out of the place where you can implement strategically your plan. So, how do we find what is holding this response inside of us? So, there are several questions we can start to ask ourselves to find, and maybe you already know, you're like, I know what happened and it hurt and I don't want to ever do it again. And, I'm remembering it because that way I'm protecting myself. And if you do, then that's fine. What I want to have you think about is, what benefits would you get from being able to not even think about that anymore? To forget it, actually. Would that benefit you? Would you be able to ride like you did before? Of course you would. So for those of you that don't know quite where it started, there are some quick questions you can ask yourself. So really do kind of a body scan, like, where do I feel this feeling? Maybe it's even when you're riding your horse. Maybe it's when you're in a competition. Maybe it's before you even get out to your horse. Where do I feel this response in my body? Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Feel that sensation that leaves you getting that body response that leaves you feeling out of control, helpless, panicked. Notice where that feeling is and what does it feel like. It might actually be a physical sensation for you. Like, it feels like a big ball. It feels like a constriction. It feels like a stab. Just notice that sensation. Because when we can notice internal responses, then we know that it's inside of us. When we know that it's inside of us, then that can empower us to take control of it, to get control of it. So another good question to ask is, what bad thing would happen if I didn't focus on this? So you can even start writing down a list of things that will happen because, or will happen in spite of, or will happen when I don't focus on this or think about it. So this is a way that our subconscious mind actually gives us back what we want, basically. There are a lot of ways that this shows up in people, and it's an interpretation of the subconscious mind that's inaccurate. So somebody who was raised with an alcoholic parent is used to smelling alcohol. Maybe they got a hug from their grandpa when he was drinking alcohol and they felt loved or important. And now their subconscious just linked those two. Alcohol is love. This is how a family acts. This is how whatever. This is how we function. And when the brain does that, then it gives you automatic responses that you don't always understand. So why is that person attracted to an alcoholic? Why is that person attracted to somebody that drinks alcohol? And that's purely just how the brain does it. And so these links can feel like safety to us. It can feel like a reason. We can feel like it's got a purpose in our subconscious mind. In our thinking mind, it doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? Why would this happen? But the subconscious produces links based on things that just wired together. What is wired together, what is fired together, wires together. So think of your brain having these little wires all over in it, and situations that have happened simultaneously just link. So when you're with your horse and there's a similar response and it puts your mind right back into this feeling, this memory. If we can eliminate that memory, how much more powerful does that make you in being able to plan, implement, and succeed? A lot. I'd like to say you will be back to who you have been before as a rider and as a competitor and as just a person that enjoys and has fun with your horse. So when we ask these questions to find out answers about what is going on inside of us that's creating this, when did this start is another question. When's the first time I felt this feeling? And you might be able to go back to way before when you were a child and felt this feeling. And then we release these sensations by distracting it. So first of all, we aim at it. We notice it and aim. And that is focusing. It's not just evading it and it's not just ignoring it. It's focusing on it and saying, I have this feeling in my stomach. I have this sensation. It's like a rock in my stomach. When's the first time I felt it? When my friend told me we weren't best friends anymore. Okay? And that rock feeling could have started way back then. And it keeps showing up and showing up and showing up in forms of anxiety and panic attack and fear and in relationships with people and animals. So once you have that sensation and you know what it is and you're able to aim at it, because you're not just ignoring it, you're going in, you're diving deep, and you found it and you're aiming at it, then you can distract it. And so I want to give you several tools that help distract your brain, but they're going to be different for you. So find the ones that really work for you. What is it? Most horse lovers are animal lovers and nature lovers. Maybe it's the country music. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's your truck. Like, get your brain distracted. Maybe it's cold weather. If you live in the north, give your brain something different. Shock it. Hold your breath. Go outside. Sing a song. Dance. Jump up and down. Exercise. Do some jumping jacks. Like, distract your brain. Go back and feel it again. Distract your brain. This distraction confuses the link. It confuses the wires that connected. They're like, wait a second. I thought we were connected. Well, wait, this is happening. Oh. And especially physical responses like that really need a strong physical counterpart. And this is what we do in horse training, right? If our horse starts getting wound up, it's kind of like hey, pay attention here, right? You can shake the rope. You can get their hind legs be underneath them. You can start getting their brain back online. And this is what we need to do for ourselves, especially people that really understand natural horsemanship and how horses interact, can see that this whole herd mentality can happen inside our brain. We can have the freaked out horse in there. We can have the calm and slow and stubborn horse in there. We can have the horse that, is super fast-paced and anxious and looking all over the place. We can have that ploddy horse that doesn't want to step one step further. We can have the explosive horse. Like, all of these reactions are going on inside our brain too. And if we want the result of having a mind under control, then we need to disrupt anything that doesn't line up with that. So you find the resources, you find the memories, you distract the mind. Go back into the memory, come out. Go back into that feeling, come out. Go back into what you saw, come out. Through dancing, through exercise, through running outside in the cold. Distract your mind, go back and visit it, and feel a good feeling. So, what is it that makes you feel loved and treasured? Like we, that horse owners, have so many resources to beautiful sensations with horses. They allow us to be who we are. They let us be ourselves. They choose us when they walk up to us and leave the herd, and that sensation of knowing they want to be with us. That one ride that you felt so connected and your horse responded to you and they listened and you just moved slightly and they responded. Like, this connected feeling is a great sensation to tap into as loving. So notice where in your body you feel that. Notice where you feel it, how you feel it, what's happening, how you see it, what you're hearing. Notice the weather outside, every detail of this happy feeling, this loved feeling. It can be with your dog or your cat, whatever it is that makes you feel presently loved, treasured, cared for, chosen, important. Feel more of that to be successful. So, as you go back into memories that are bad, memories that are negative, memories that are producing and being reused on you with the same circumstances, use this good feeling to override it. This loving sensation, the way you see it, hear it, feel it. And as you override your memories, the negative memories, with this sensation, things start to change. We change our memories every time we go back and visit them. It's just that when something bad happens, we usually make them worse. So that is how two people that have the same experience can have totally different reactions and stories and sensations that are happening. And we don't need to hold on to negative memories to prevent it from happening. We actually need to let go of the negative memory so that we can focus on success and whatever that looks like for you. It might be a success as a high-level competitor. It might be just the success of getting on your horse again after 5 years. Whatever success is to you, when you focus on this feeling, your body lines up. And as your body lines up with this feeling, your whole mind changes. And when your mind changes and you can think and focus and be present and be at peace, your horse responds. And one of the ways that you can react differently to your horse is by having control of these emotional responses that are creating physical responses that your horse is noticing. And we can be more at peace with our horse. We can do things like just breathe together. Just smell them. Just wait. Maybe they're thinking about it and they're going to do it on their own. And it becomes a time of being able to listen to our own heart and what we really want, because a lot of times we get caught up in what other people want for us, or in a competition against how well it looks like someone else is doing. And that irritation of keeping up with someone else, of focusing on their goals, of feeling the stress of meeting the goals that someone else has for you, leaves us disconnected with our horses. So once you feel the sensations of this memory, I like to say 0 to 10. 0, it doesn't bother you at all. 10, it's as bad as it can get. Maybe in the beginning it was a 10. Once you get it down to a 1 or 2 and it's not bothering you that much, that's a good time to use your conscious mind to really focus in on what it is you do want. And get really clear about that, because we lose sight of it. Like I said, based on other people's goals and other people's dreams. And when we lose sight of that, all we're doing is living in the dream of someone else and disregarding ourselves. A relationship with a horse is a phenomenal thing. I'm sitting in my car watching my horses now as I speak. And when that relationship is the most important thing outside of family and children and loved ones, when our horses are a very important relationship for us, and we can approach them from this peaceful state, not living in old accidents and old pain, old grudges, then we release the expectation above, the expectations that are above what we really want, the expectations that cause stress, and the expectations that always leave us wanting more than just what we have in the present. And releasing those expectations really allows us to feel satisfied with what we do have. And sometimes that's the part of life that makes relationships and life and horses seem difficult. It's just that we're not satisfied inside of ourselves. So when you have memories and things in your past that are truly influencing and affecting your relationship with your present horse or a person or anything else, I am challenging you to try this. get information on how to disrupt your thoughts to give you different reactions. Try this. Jumping jacks, touching your toes, looking at something beautiful, feeling that last vacation that was so peaceful, and then go back into that memory and just notice how things change. Like, it's surprising. Our brain will bring back a tropical paradise in with our horses. Like, it can do this. It's creative. And our conscious mind can do so many creative things that the previous memory feels like a dream and like it never happened. And then our brain cannot use those resources against us any longer when the memory has changed. There's a lot of power in that. When the memory has changed, the brain goes and tries to find proof that we're not a good rider, proof that we don't measure up, proof that I'm not good enough, proof that I made a mistake. And when that proof is gone, you get a different reaction. So don't live in your old memories any longer. Really understand how the brain works. This is just brain chemistry. Every memory, everything that's ever happened in our life is truly over. It is no longer happening, and our body doesn't need to react to it happening any longer just because our memory is there. We create the future. We create our success. We create our dreams. Because when we let go of the past, we can get different reactions. Isn't that cool? I think not only is it absolutely inspiring, but the truth of it just soaks in and allows you to believe your future can be different. And you are not bound by that one accident, by that one mistake. Your body is no longer bound to feel fear, panic, because of what happened in the past. So I'm sending lots of love to you, and I want this message to impact people and their relationship with their horse. Not only because I want to see people do amazing things with horses, but because I want to see people feeling fulfilled and satisfied with what they have and what they are creating, and how this impacts human equine connection. I'd love to answer questions for you and help you find the truth in who you want to become. What kind of rider, what kind of owner, and allow that to happen more naturally and fluidly for you, to just flow into that person that you want to be, instead of having the same old. Have a great day. Enjoy your horse and spend time contemplating the relationship of your dreams.